This is All of It. I'm Allison Stewart, live from the WNYC studios in Soho. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. I'm really grateful you're here. On today's show, we'll speak to the stars and the director of the new film, Our Hero Balthazar. We'll kick off this month's full bio conversation with a look at the life of author Judy Blume. And we'll hear about music made by incarcerated people with the Marshall Project staff writer Maurice Chama and B.L. Sherrill, who is with the Freer Records label. That's the plan, so let's get this started with music by Ingrid Michaelson. Singer-songwriter, Staten Island native Ingrid Michaelson is headlining a concert at Lincoln Center for their American Songbook series. The show is titled Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us. The concert will look back on songs from Ingrid's catalog, including the music she wrote for the Broadway musical The Notebook. She'll also be joined by a very special roster of Broadway stars. We'll hear more about that in a moment. Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us will be held at David Geffen Hall on Friday evening at 7:30 p.m. But first, Ingrid joins me in studio for an interview and a very special live performance. It is so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
We were having quite a conversation before the mics went on.
We were talking about anxiety and healing the world.
It was interesting. That idea of like being nervous and whether your brain can kind of calm down and calm you so that you can have a conversation with somebody. So you can do whatever it is you need to do in the moment.
Yeah, we were talking about Ilya Malinin, the ice skater, and how his anxiety got the better of him at the Olympics, but then at the World Tournament, he got first place. And I was saying, I was pretty nervous because I don't play live radio alone. And here I am with you, about to play some live radio alone. But what our nerves could do if we could flip them inside out.
So we'll just be calm.
I'm definitely nervous.
Okay.
It's definitely there, but let's see. Should I try? Should I play something and see what happens?
Do you want to do that instead of interview? You just want to do the song and get out of the way?
I kind of feel like I should get it out of the way.
Let's do it.
I feel like I'm going to try. Okay, here we go. This song is older than Ilya Malinin. It's called The Way I Am. If you were falling, then I would catch you. If you need a light, I'd find a match, 'cause I love the way you say good morning, and you take me the way I am. If you are chilly, here, take my sweater. If your head is aching, I'll make it better, 'cause I love the way you call me baby, and you take me the way I am. I'll buy you Rogaine when you start losing all your hair, so I'm patches to all you tear, 'cause I love you more than I could ever promise, and you take me the way I am. Oh, you take me the way I am. Oh, you take me the way I am.
That was singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson with a live performance of her hit song, The Way I Am. She is headlining an American Songbook concert at Lincoln Center on Friday, April 3rd. The show is titled Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us. How did that feel?
It felt good. I was so nervous at first.
Okay.
And then I really was thinking about what we were talking about. And I smiled. and it calmed me down. I don't know if you saw me smiling.
You
I just
did.
closed my eyes and I smiled and I thought, who gets to do what I'm doing right now? And it kind of calmed me down. I'm still a little jittery just because it's but it definitely, that was a really interesting scientific experiment and it kind of worked.
Well, I'm kind of glad that we got it out of the way. We were going to do it sort of in
Yeah.
the middle of in the middle of the interview, and I thought, like, let her sing. She just wants to get this
I
done,
did.
and you want to get it out of your system,
Yes.
and it was successful.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And now we can talk.
Okay, we'll talk. You know, it's interesting. When a song like that is that big and that big for someone, it can send them down one road. But you have done such an amazing job of having an expansive career. Do you remember what decision you made along the way that let you have the career that you've had?
Well, I've never wanted to stay in one lane. So I write a song like that, and some people put me in the category of writing cute ukulele songs. And so my next record is this string heavy, piano driven, very emotional record. I've always been the person, when I was about 3 or 4, my parents told me they were going to put me in piano lessons. And I said, well, you can put me in front of the piano, but I won't play. So I've always been very willful, and I don't like being told what to do, and I don't like being told who I am. And for better or for worse, it does push me to diversify my artistic portfolio, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I also just enjoy a multitude of expression. So, when it came to writing music for Broadway, for theater, I should say, I have always loved the theater. I went to school for musical theater in upstate in SUNY Binghamton, and I wanted to be on stage. That was my true dream. But I always loved singing. I always loved musical theater. And so when that opportunity came to me, I think you all know that I'm an anxious, worried person, and I was anxious and worried. How can I do this? How can I do this? But I wasn't gonna say no. So I seized the opportunity and I just sort of jumped in. And luckily, there were amazing people around me to help me and guide me and mentor me. And I think my diversification comes from a stubborn, willful place, but I actually think it served me well. You know what I mean?
Which brings me to my next question. You're from Staten Island originally.
I am very much from Staten Island. Yes.
How will I know that you are from Staten Island aside from what you described?
I mean, I can do the accent.
You can?
What do you want? You want so if you go to the deli and you get a bagel, they're always like, you want salt, pepper, ketchup? But they say it so fast that all my friends, whenever I would take them, my out of town friends, salt, pepper, ketchup? You want coffee with that? Cream, sugar? What do you want? Did you walk the dog? Like D's become Z's. When I don't drink often, but when I do, the Staten Island,
it comes out.
It does come. It comes out. What? Instead of what? There's an extra syllable. My family is still there, so I visit often. I have a deep fondness for Staten Island. There's my mother, my late mother, she ran the Staten Island Museum, and there's actually a lot of amazing cultural places on the island that people don't know about because they think what they think about Staten Island. But we've got really incredible resources and incredible cultural places, and Snug Harbor being one of them. It's just it was a really lovely place to grow up. Yeah. The Staten Island that my parents offered me,
So when they put you in front of the piano and you said, I'm not going to play.
Turns out I did.
When did you start?
4.
At that time?
Yeah, they took me. Yes, apparently. They took, my father would take my brother and I into 3rd Street Music School, which I don't believe was on 3rd Street.
It's not, but it's still a great school.
Yes. And that's where we started. My brother and I both took lessons there for about 2 years. And I remember taking the ferry in and the subway with my father and my brother. And it was very formative moments as a very young person. And then switching over to the JCC on Forest Avenue. But I took lessons for about 10 years and then they said I could stop once I was 14, and I stopped. But I'm very happy that I have those years within me.
But you still play.
I still play.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, no, I think for me, I liked playing and I liked writing. I didn't like practicing. I didn't like having to learn. I didn't like having to learn things. But I'm very grateful that I think every kid should take a few years of piano.
Why?
It's just because it's so... It opens up a whole avenue of life that you would never have before. Or guitar. Guitar and piano, I think, are two of the more easy instruments to pick up and create on, because you can form these full-bodied chords. And so I think they're just... it gives you this hallway that you wouldn't have to walk down. Whenever I want to walk down this hallway and go create or play something or sing, I can. And I have this door that my parents gave me that wouldn't have existed had they not. I mean, I could have in my later years, taught myself or taken lessons, but there's something about just having it in your growing up DNA. It was just part of my life. And my father was a composer and was always playing music, so music was just there, always there. And I'm very, very happy that they forced that little 4-year-old.
My guest is singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson. She's performing live in WNYC's music studio ahead of her Lincoln Concert American Songbook Series. It's happening on Friday night. The show is titled Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us. Before we get to that, I did want to ask you about the notebook. How is your songwriting process different when writing for theater?
I feel like I tend to write from a storytelling perspective anyway, so it wasn't a huge leap for me, but for instance, the very first song I wrote for the show, so let me rewind. I met with one of the producers, Kevin McCollum, who said, "Oh, the notebook might be a good idea for you." That was literally the words, something like that.
Oh.
I took that as, "You're hired." I went home. He says it was that night. It might have been that night or the next night. I wrote a song and sent it to him. And then another one and another one and another one. And finally, we had a dinner or something, and he said, "Well, so far you keep sending me these amazing songs, and you're the only one on the list so far." And I'm like, There's a list? You mean I didn't get the job?" And then he hired me. And there was never a list. There was a list of one. And so that very first song, I just know the film, The Notebook, so well. And I wrote about this moment where one character recognizes another character for the first time in the whole movie. And it's all we've been wanting. And I just wrote very much from my Ingrid Michaelson well of just... I just, and this ties into the evening at Lincoln Center. I tend to write about love and time and loss and longing, and the characters in this piece in the notebook. It just fits into the jigsaw puzzle of my creative brain. So I feel like the initial songs that I wrote that are actually still in the show. A few of them didn't make it, but the very first one is the penultimate song in the show. And then the second one I wrote is the second song in the show. Then there were a bunch that didn't make it. But those initial songs really came from a place of knowing for me. It didn't feel like a stretch. Later on in the process, when I would get an assignment from the directors, we need her to feel XYZ, and she's in the bathroom and she's flipping out, and then it became a little different for me. Then I was really like pulling on story and being very specific because a lot of my songs, my Ingrid Michaelson songs, are very, they can kind of work for everybody. You know, I'm not speaking about very specific things, but you know, with musicals, you got to start getting specific. You're telling story, you're pushing story forward, you're taking a character from A to B to B to C. So those were a little trickier for me, but incredibly fascinating to learn how to do that on the fly, and amazing. I mean, my directors would say, you know, we need more here. This verse needs more. Da 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 da. We need to hear more about this. And so I was learning in real time and getting real time feedback. So it was in some ways very similar to my writing process, and then in other ways quite different. But now I kind of don't know the difference anymore. You know what I mean? It's like once you step over that threshold into writing for musical theater, I feel like that's now bleeding into the way I write for myself in terms of specificity. And is that the right way? I always mess up specificity.
Good. Sounds good to me.
Yeah, I kind of feel like I've like unlocked a new part of my brain and part of my writing brain.
Are you happy about that?
I am, yeah. It's like chordally and thematically, and just words I would not normally choose. You know, I just it's wild at a certain age where you think you're like, well, this is the way that I write, but it's not. We're elastic. If you stretch, you will stretch.
Yeah,
you know. Do
you have any plans to write any more for musicals?
Yes, if the heavens grant me my wishes. Yes, I have a couple things that are swirling about, but I can't speak about any of them because nothing is guaranteed at this moment. But yes, the answer is yes.
What would you do differently this time around?
Not write alone.
Not write alone. Interesting. Why not?
I enjoy writing alone. I do. And I enjoyed writing. I'm very proud that I wrote the lyrics and the music by myself for The Notebook. I'm very proud of myself. But I know from my songwriting career, I really love co-writing because there's just, you bounce ideas off someone else. You have a teammate. It's not just you alone in a corner coming back to the directors being like, what about this? What about this? What about, you know, you have another person. Not to say I didn't have an amazing team around me, music director and orchestrators, but when it came to the actual creation of things, it was just me writing the words and the music. And at times it was just a little lonesome. Yeah. And I did it. So I did it. I know I can do it. And now I want to team up with somebody and do it again, but I want to have a teammate. Life's better with someone else.
My guest is singer-songwriter Ingrid Michaelson. She's performing live in WNYC's music studio ahead of her Lincoln Center American Songbook concert on Friday night. The show is titled Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us. Who are your friends who are going to join you on Friday?
Oh, my goodness. So two of my friends were in The Notebook. Kim Ona, she was our Middle Alley cover and went on quite a bit, and she's incredible. John Cardoza, who was our young Noah, who just finished a very long run in Moulin Rouge. Helen Shen, who we know from Maybe Happy Ending, and Michaela Diamond from, Parade and the Sondheim Show and lots of things. I mean, they're all from lots of things, but I'm lucky enough to call all of them friends, and they all said yes when I asked them, and no questions asked. It was really quite lovely because I know how busy people are, and I know how valuable time is these days. And the fact that they all said yes, no questions asked, was really, really, really heartwarming. So I'm so grateful and excited. When Clint Ramos from Lincoln Center asked me to be a part of this, this kind of rubber bands back to what I was just saying about writing for The Notebook, is that I didn't want to do it alone. I wanted to bring people up. I want someone to sing one of my pieces and I'm not singing it, because that's really my favorite thing, honestly.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, I enjoy with the Notebook. I enjoy watching and hearing other people metabolize my words and my music and make it their own. I enjoy it, dare I say, more than performing myself. And I think it's because I'm limited by my voice. I have a beautiful voice. I'm an alto. I'm very whispery. I can get loud if I want to, but not at 12:26. I'm a late sleeper, you guys. But there's something incredible about writing songs out of your range, out of your limitations, and watching somebody else execute it perfectly, because I'm getting my music across, I'm getting my ideas across, but it just sounds better.
Who have you
or
heard?
Rather, it sounds it's something it's like a superhero version of me. You know what I mean? But it's this total other human who's incredible and talented, and they bring their own heart and mind and experiences to this. And it's, again, I'm realizing it in the moment, it's collaboration. I think that's my favorite thing, is collaboration, and it's watching somebody else, add on to what you've already done.
Who have you heard sing a piece of yours that was chef's kiss in that moment? Like, oh.
I mean, everybody in the Notebook.
Yeah.
The first time I heard Joy Wood sing My Days, which is, the big song in the show and her big song, it was unbelievable. And then when I heard what she could do, I was like, well, we're going to raise it up half a step. I know. I see all these TikToks of like, why does everybody have to sing so high on Broadway shows? I'm like, because they can. And that's why we go to, we want to be amazed. And listen, this is coming from an alto. I can't sing those notes either, but I want to see people who can, because it's amazing. It's like superheroes on stage. Yeah.
Can you give us a bit of a preview of what might be happening on Friday night at your concert?
Yeah, we're going to be doing, I'm being very brave in that I'm not picking the songs that everyone's going to know. I'm going with more of the theme. So the theme of the whole American Songbook this year is, it's about echoes of an inheritance. And Clint is really pushing us to not just get up on stage and be American singer-songwriters, and that's, the American Songbook and all that stuff. So I thought, well, I'm gonna sing songs about my parents and about time and loss and love, and I mean all the things that I write about anyway. But I've cherry-picked very specific songs. For instance, I don't want to give too much away, but I'm going to sing a song from the Notebook, and then someone's going to come on stage and sing the same song. But the way that I sing it is very different key, different tempo, different style than the way it was done on stage. And the idea of how do two people in different stages of life sing the same words and the same song, and what does that mean for these two people with this space and this time between, like, how does that change? And so the show, it's much more curated than my other shows, and I'm a little nervous about that because I've never done this before. I'm going to speak in between each song and sort of explain why I chose the song, and my shows are usually very off the cuff, and this one will be a little more scripted in that way. But I was talking to my hairdresser who said, but isn't it great at this stage in your career that you can do something that still feels new and exciting and different? And I was like, yeah, you're right. Because I was complaining about how nervous I was. Two things we've learned about me.
Okay.
I like collaboration and I'm nervous. Yeah. So, and then obviously I'm having.
Well, you're nervous because you care.
Yeah.
You care how it comes out.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I do feel like I have a string quartet on stage and a pianist, and I'm having, these four amazing friends come out and sing with me. So I'm not alone. I have this bed of support and talent around me. So I'm also excited to play a lot of these songs with a string quartet, because it's going to be very different from how they were originally recorded. And my two bandmates, who I've been with forever, Allie Moss and Hannah Winkler, are also coming, and they're going to be on stage with me the whole time, singing all the harmonies. And so it's going to be a really, I think it's going to be a really beautiful, introspective night of my music. And it's at David Geffen, which is crazy.
Beautiful.
When I talked to Clint the first time, I thought he was going to put me in the Appel Room, which is where I did this 15 years ago. You know, it's like 400 people. It's beautiful, overlooks the Columbus Circle. And he's like, well, we're thinking David Geffen. I'm like, that place is huge. But I remember going there with my parents, and this is part of the show, and I'm going to talk about it. Years ago when I was in high school, and my father loved Handel's Messiah, and we would go to the Messiah sing-along. And, I mean, he bought tapes, the alto part, the soprano part, the tenor, the bass. I was soprano, Mom was alto, my brother was tenor, my dad was bass. And he would make us listen to these tapes with our part highlighted so that we would know what we were doing when we, because I can barely I could sight read, but it wasn't great. And, I remember at the time, we went a few years in a row, and it was so fun. But I remember I was, 14 or 15, so I couldn't admit that it was fun.
Of course not.
But, it was fun. Oh, it was so fun. And I was way up in the nosebleeds. And now I'm going to be on stage performing in that very same hall. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild when I think about it. It makes me. I'm going to be implementing what I call cement heart.
Cement heart. Okay.
It's when I know if I allow too much of my emotions through, I will cry and not get through a song. So I have to compartmentalize a little bit. And the way you do that is you think about the actual words and sounds that the words are making, and the sounds your voice are making, and the vibrations in your body, and how to make those as beautiful and ornate or simple as possible. But it sort of clips the meaning out of your mind just enough that, and then the trick is at the very end of the song, you allow it, you drop the wall, you let it back in, and you might get then you cry after the song ends. That's my trick. But I think I'm going to have to do it a bunch because I've picked some songs. There's one song that I've only sung once in my life before, and it's completely about my mother, who I lost. And I don't quite know how I'm going to get through it, but I thought if I'm ever going to perform this song, I got to do it at Lincoln Center. I got to do it at this beautiful, curated concert about time and space and the echoes of an inheritance, and my mother, so I am proud of myself, of my song choices, because some of them are digging quite deep emotionally. So here we go.
Here we go. That will be happening on Friday night at Lincoln Center. It's Ingrid Michaelson and Friends, The Time and Space Between Us. It is part of the American Songbook series. We're going to have you sing one more song before you go. What are you going to sing?
I'm switching over here to the piano. I sang this song when I was working as a waitress many, many years ago. And somebody was getting married, and they had their reception in the restaurant. And it's a little tiny restaurant in Staten Island. And they asked if I would sing a song for them, and there was a keyboard in the corner. So I literally was like the cater waiter, and then I sat down with my apron on and sang the song. And I loved it so much that it became part of my show. This song, I've sang this song probably as many times as I've sung the song I sang before, The Way I Am. I did not write it, obviously, but I've played it so many times, I feel like it's mine. So, here it is for you. And the odd thing is I never know if it's called Fools Rush In or Can't Help Falling in Love, but it's one of those. Wise men say only fools rush in, but I can't help falling shall I stay? Would it be a sin, oh, if I can't help falling in love with you? Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. So take my hand and take my whole life too, 'cause I can't help falling in love with you. Like a river flows surely to the sea, darling, so it goes. Some things are meant to be. So won't you please just take my hand and take my whole life too, 'cause I can't help falling in love with you, 'cause I can't help falling in love, falling in love. I keep falling in love with you.